All right, let's get into our first discussion of the day now. It will be the sixth general election in 2 days from now. Sixth general election since Nigeria began the Fourth Republic. Nigerians will first elect a president and federal lawmakers on Saturday, and then vote for governors and state lawmakers on the 2nd of March.
Yes, indeed. And what permutations will play out or drive this election? Those are what we'll be trying to find out from our guest, who is a lawyer and a political analyst, Okenna Nebedum. Good morning. Good
morning,
to see you.
Good morning,
this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Okay, so in the meantime, campaigns actually end today.
Sure.
Yes.
By the guidelines.
By the guidelines. Do you get a sense of satisfaction that there is clarity, for the average voter as he goes to the polls come Saturday, as to who really deserves their votes in terms of what are the issues that will guide the electorate?
I did. I never knew I was going to handle this topic, but on Saturday, penultimate, I did a sampling. The mechanic was fixing my car, and I had the opportunity to move around.
Okay.
Barber shop, and then some, people around. And I discovered that some people have made up their minds on who they will vote for. There are just a fraction of people who would do the mini, just when they are faced with the ballot paper.
Yes.
But as for more than 80% of people already know who they're going to vote for.
Yeah, but that's one thing, knowing who you want to vote for. It's another thing knowing why you want to vote for that person. Do you get that sense?
Okay, another percentage of people are not aware politically why they should be voting who. Nigeria is polarized, religious-wise, tribal, and poverty too divides us. And it's a we and them kind of game. So for some people, paramount in their mind is that things are not moving within the last 3.5 years, and there is hunger in the land. That particular aspect of discussion is highly amplified. And if they bought the message of the other party in opposition saying that we'll bring back the old days when things were right, I think most of them will be going with the mindset of, survival, food, but not necessarily on the change mantra, economy, corruption, and all the infrastructure and all those things. You see, the average Nigerian doesn't want to understand. For example, take the issue of power that you've generated from increased generation from 3,000 megawatts to 7,000 megawatts. Doesn't mean anything to him, except until when he gets home and there's no power. You understand? So the academic discussions we do on studios and all the, analysis and the town hall meetings, they don't really trickle down. Because for them, it is either survival or that there is hardship.
But
so in that aspect, they don't have the enough education to understand the parameters, or that whatever has been wrong within the past 16 years cannot be righted in a single tenure of 4 years.
So that is to say that the Nigerian voter may not be seen as sophisticated enough to understand what this candidate stands for, what this political party stands for, and why I'm supporting him or supporting them, as the case may be.
Unfortunately, we have a political system without ideologies, so they don't stand for nothing. I'm very sorry to say it. You can never say now that PDP stands for this or that APC stands for that. Maybe in the near future, 2023 elections, we'll begin to see, manifestos tilting towards socialism or capitalism, tilting towards free education, and tilting towards driving technology or, driving
but we've
production.
had this before. We've
had this before. In the First Republic, we had it because of regionalism. You understand? But here, we practice a false federalism, and that stifles creativity. So if you say now that people don't understand, or the electorate are not sophisticated enough, the parties are not even given that sophistication. They are not given leadership in that aspect. How many people have read or have the head knowledge that political parties or candidates have manifestos? You see the debate or the argument about the debate. Some people are saying, to hell with debate. Who debate up? You understand? Some people are just the intellectual aspect of or what to make a voter sophisticated. Some are not even driving towards that direction. And it's very unfortunate. It is the parties that will drive this mobilization, sensitization,
yes,
education, and all that. Such that if you get to campaign grounds, you change the narratives from like a 30-minute show. You start with the other party will come today, face the camera, 20 minutes to abuse the other party, 20 minutes to say this one, the other 20 minutes to, and then the balance of the 20 minutes to dance. After dancing, they sing the national anthem and go. And God save them if there's no violence, like how the Ogun campaign rally ended. So you see, we still need a lot to be done for voter education. But what really gives me concern is if you check out the 84 million voters,
yes,
more than 51% of them fall within the age bracket of 18 to 34. Then the other one, 35 to the next 22% is also the youth age or the digital age, people who can understand and people who can use technology or people who are accessible on social media. I strongly believe that these are the people who should be driving the voting pattern. And these are the people who would be, their demographics would determine how the votes swing.
It's a good thing you talk about demographics. We'll try to do some kind of mapping of
of the country now.
Yeah,
Okay.
so of where, yes, you can see it there already. It is between, well, it has come down to a two-horse race between the APC and the PDP, and that is in spite of the fact that you have about 70-something, about 72 or 73.
It's exponential growth from 14 in 2015.
Presidential
Exactly.
candidates on the ballot. To
Yeah.
that is
91 political
90.
parties.
Is it even a
73
good thing to
presidential
start
Presidential
candidates.
aspirants, yeah.
Is this a good thing really for our politics or our democracy in terms of the kind of progress we actually hope to make? That is a 2015 map, as I'm told. Okay, that's a 2015 map. You have the light green, or is it more like lemon green? And then you have the sky blue shades
have the
there.
green itself.
That in itself should give you an indication of what the outcome should look like or where the strength of either party lies for now.
Well, that has to do with the breakdown of how the political party, got some states and all of that. But let's come to the 2019 election, how things are going to play out. Now, the country has been divided into 6 geopolitical zones. These geopolitical zones, especially for the presidential election, some zones are seen as the zones with the higher number of voters, especially like in the northwest, for instance,
Yes.
followed by the southwest, and then north central, and then northeast, and then south and then southeast, as the case may be. If we have to start from the northwest, for instance, that is seen to be with the highest number, that delivers the highest number of voters, what do you think are the issues from the northwest? If we have to break them state by state, do you think there are some swing states in the northwest, or is it general? If you have to jiggle the numbers and jiggle all of that together, what do you think?
And then in the northwest, I expect Sokoto and Kano to be the swing states, and probably Zamfara.
Okay.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because of the personalities behind driving the presidential candidates. Okay. And part of the issues in this 2019 election, of which has never happened before, is the spate of, do I call it transfers, or do I call it
defections?
Shoppings and defections.
Okay.
And I say so with every sense of responsibility because I respect, the Constitution respects their freedom of association. But at the same time, it is so prominent right now that the person contesting for the opposition played a vital role with the regime in power right now, and he's now leading as a candidate. He understands the dynamics, and he also has some, power movers, like what happened in Kano and the rally and all that. Even though the schools of thought says that being able to move crowds to campaign rally does not translate into
the votes.
Yeah, but both parties are already seeing it as a
Some of them
clear
are seeing it
indication
as so.
of
Did you see what happened in
how
Kano?
popular they
Did you see
are.
what
See what
happened
happened in
there?
Rivers
Did you see what happened
and
And then even the last campaign in Abuja. Did you see what happened in Abuja?
Yeah.
It shows that people have rejected.
somebody
and all
called it, "My crowd is bigger than your crowd."
And it goes to what I told you, that it's not about going there to tell people something, but it's just going there to, gather crowd. And even some people are saying that most of those crowds are bought. Rented crowd. And people go there not necessarily because they are hungry, but probably because they are part paid or they've been attending meetings, which has promises that if you attend the rally, then you have a balance of this or something.
All right. Now,
So
besides,
they have to follow through.
Besides Sokoto and Kano, that you also mentioned
Zamfara.
What will make Zamfara a swing state, for instance?
Zamfara State has issues with the national executive of the party in power. And I strongly believe that it will bring friction, and it will also bring confusion to people who are voting. They will be like the Southwest, who would be waiting for the last signal to say, who do we vote for? And sometimes they are undercuts. There are arrangements that vote for me at the gubernatorial, I'll vote for you at the presidency, and all that.
Give and take.
So they give and take thing. And then you cannot remove the fact that these politicians too, like some governors who are second-term governors who are not contesting anymore, and then who themselves, either they are retiring into the Senate or they are just retiring out of politics. Some of them too, because of those interests.
The legislature is now retirement home. Is that what you're
retirement home, or they have their retirement packages, but I believe you understand what I mean.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
some of them don't get out of the political scene. They just upgrade themselves to Senate or somewhere else, especially the Senate. Or some come back and then go back to the Senate again, like Ibikula Amosu, in and out of Senate, in and out of government house and all those. We've seen it happen several times. But the point I'm making is that in Zamfara State, what transpired in that state is similar to what happened in Rivers State. And they will not be feeding candidates. And
that's the leading party, the ruling party.
The ruling party. And in that aspect, the voters themselves who have close affinity with some candidates that are candidates of the ruling party, they may have limitations as to who now to transfer their votes to, but definitely not for the ruling party. So it could spring us surprises as to who would win in that state.
Okay, so let's move to the northeast, where insurgency and all kinds of security challenges have been there. How clear will the lines be in terms of who will get what?
I recently, or just yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, the convoy of the state governor was attacked. And my heart goes out to those who lost their lives. And I hope one day we'll stop giving our hearts out oftentimes. And sometimes, one day maybe we'll not have a heart to give out if we continue
going like this. It's a serious issue anyway.
But it's a serious issue. The governor escaped. And it brings to fore again the security situation in that place. Is that place fit for election? If the convoy of a state governor can be attacked and have
just
that
2 days
number
to
of
election.
just 2 days
Yeah, but
to
in
the
spite
election.
of the challenges in that part of the country, in the northeast, you still have a high number of registered voters.
Yes, and
What do you think really?
It will be a decision. Two Fulanis are contesting, and it will be a split vote. It is not now, and you can't remove the fact that Nigerian elections are tribalized. So, for them, this is our son, and the other one is our son that is already in government.
Yes.
Adamawa State also has its own peculiarities, where the candidate of PDP comes from. Jada himself, as a local government, has stronghold of PDP, but the APC themselves have used strong party officials or party faithfuls like Boba Mara, like Nuhu Ribadu, and like the former state governor, retired Admiral Murtala Nyako. Those are strong and powerful political leaders who
in Adamawa,
in
of course.
Adamawa State.
Yes.
So the PDP candidate still has some good fight to do in that place to retain.
So it means Adamawa is
strength.
more or less like a swing state.
It's a swing state.
Okay.
But in the generality of the whole north east, the PDP may have a good coasting home from Gombe, and will not also have it smooth in Bauchi. And some of those pockets of places.
And then Taraba State.
Taraba State is a PDP state.
Okay.
Despite whatever anybody would want to get done in that place. So I
This
think
you were mentioning strong political bigwigs.
Bigwigs,
We remember General T.Y. Danjuma is there in Taraba State.
he has strong influence to swing the voters' mindset to a particular candidate. And,
Okay. And then there
that
is
to be for the opposition.
Okay, so to the North Central now, you know, some would actually say, for political reasons, it's been referred to as North Central. At other times, it's called the Middle
Belt.
Middle Belt.
No, the Middle Belt transcends North Central. Because if you're talking about the Middle Belt, certainly Taraba State is part of the
It's
Middle
part of the
Belt.
Middle Belt.
Exactly.
Or North Central, if you like, depends on where.
No, it's northeast by political leaning.
By political leaning, yeah.
but
absolutely.
it's Middle Belt by affiliation.
Or association. So,
It
who
will be a
is
50-50
situation?
situation,
Okay.
yeah.
For North
because
Central.
For North Central, you have the Saraki stronghold in Kara being strongly challenged by his former parties and former party faithfuls. And you also have the Benue Kogi. And then these are strong PDP states before now. And whether they will wake up to their former pattern in being with the PDP is going to be seen. But Kogi in particular, it has a special mention that one of us who happens to be a youth like us has spent 4 years, and some of the opinion that he didn't represent the youth very well, and challenging that seat. And it's coming back to power might be a very sensitive one for him, a very strong one. And
but then again, that depends on the strength of those who are challenging his
sure,
seat.
the strength of
Are
those.
they strong enough to...
There is something in politics. When you've been in power and you are recontesting, your language and your message should be on what you have done.
achieved.
Exactly.
And you'll be judged on what you have done, what you have achieved, and what you didn't do well, which is most probable.
But in
As against somebody coming
times,
in.
most times that's about the ideals. Earlier, you know, when we began the program,
Yeah.
you were talking about the issues of poverty, the issues of illiteracy, and all of that. And in that space, we know what money can do. In that space.
Yes,
So,
yes. Ideal situations are set aside when politics in Nigeria is discussed. You can also not remove it completely when it comes to metropolitan Lagos. But elsewhere in the country, you will always see influence of poverty, influence of money, and people who just move towards any direction that the party weaks, push their money to. And talking
Will that
about...
be a factor for a place like Benue, for example?
Benue has the bloodiest casualties in this regime. And Benue may not have forgiven the party in power. And Benue has accepted back their son, who is running for the second term, back into PDP fold. And I don't see strong contenders against him for
Talking
that
about
position.
Otom, of course.
Yes, I'm talking about Otom.
And then
So,
there is a factor, Otom and his
His
godfather, Gemade.
Yes.
Some call him a retired politician. How
No,
that is
not
going
Akume.
to...
Not Akume, yeah. no.
Akume. Senator Akume.
Yes.
Akume is also a former governor there. But some of all those factors doesn't remove from the historical facts. Benue has never witnessed the kind of bloodshed like it witnessed under this regime. And some of them have not forgiven the party in power.
Okay.
And some of them have adjudged it that they've not done enough for them. So when the sitting governor retired back to his party, you see the welcome, and you see the camaraderie. You see, it was like a homecoming for him. It's very comfortable about that. And I'm going to see, I'm expecting to see an overwhelming win for the party where he is belong now, as against what happened before 2015.
In Kogi, you mentioned earlier, we know that one of the very a person who has been on the news very much in the last few months is Senator Dino Melaye, is also from Kogi State. Do you think he's going to be a factor one way or the other?
His political space is limited to one
He's
third.
limited to
One-third of the state. And I believe he's going to be, play what we call enlightened self-interest. Why fight the governor whose vote will come from the whole state?
Okay.
Rather than concentrate on a particular senatorial district where you represent.
And he has the contender who has been there before too, Smart Adeyemi.
Smart Adeyemi, he won Smart Adeyemi in the previous election. Probably Smart is coming for an overkill.
They just exchanged their political party.
Yeah, so either of them, both exchanging political party, and then so Smart has a fight to a statement to make. Probably that what happened in 2015 is not going to be repeated.
So
and
you
then
think
for
Smart
him,
is smarter now? He would have learned the lesson.
Smart could be smarter right now, but at the same time, he can't remove, like we said, the money politics. If we empower, they were asking the outgoing governor of Imo State why he is going to the Senate. He said, I'm going to the Senate to remain politically relevant. You know, political relevance also comes with the so big war chest. So, and you know, they have it at the Senate or at the legislature. As against when you retire, you either probably shut down your company or you sell your properties. And when you are fighting that fight from that perspective, you are fighting a loose game, except there's something else you are counting on. But for that is where smartness may not outweigh.
All right, in North Central, before we go, Kwara State is the state that has big wigs one way or the other. The Senate President, he is there, and also the Minister of Finance.
Minister of Information.
Lai Mohammed.
Yeah, he is regarded as a Lagos politician.
Which one of them? You're talking about Lai Mohammed?
Yes, he's regarded as a Lagos politician.
Regarded
in his home state.
Okay.
Who is seeing him as a Lagos
in his home state? In his home state.
Okay.
These people that are in Lagos that want to come. And you know, as against the person who has been on ground since 1999, that is Saraki and his own political machinery. So he has a very big statement to make, and I believe he knows what it takes or what his challenges are and how to meet it. But the narrative he is pushing across right now is what may appeal to the people, which is saying that Kwara doesn't belong to a people or an individual. How much of that message?
Dynasty?
Yes. How much of that message is going to be bought by the Kwarans is going to be seen in the outcome of the election.
Okay, so let's quickly move down to the southeast. A group actually lamented only recently that they have issues with the 8 million numbers that's been allotted, according to them. It's an allotment to the southeast in terms of the number of votes or voters in that part, that whole block of the southeast. That, as a matter of fact, they are saying about 20 million people in the southeast may be disenfranchised. So, in other words, what they are saying is, for them, from where they stand, that the real figure should be somewhere around 28 million.
Very well. They have a point, and they're going to drive that point home when they prove from their capacity in registering, getting registered. Facts speak for itself. If you don't get registered and you are bringing out numbers, it doesn't show anything. But what I would rather say is that for the southeast, they are the most migrant region in Nigeria. I am a southeast person. I've been in Lagos more than 10, 15 years. And I'll be voting in Lagos. You understand? So, like myself, like so many other Igbos, if you begin to get out from the voter register on the basis of state of origin, particular to the southeast, you're going to get more than 20 million Igbos voting outside Igbo land. I think it makes sense more than telling INEC or coming to the media to say that we are disenfranchised.
Yeah.
Okay.
Igbos are not disenfranchised. Rather, Igbos are voting in some
Outside
other
of the
jurisdictions.
Outside of
Yes.
the region.
Okay.
Okay.
And so is other, if you have to
Other-
break it
other
in terms of
tribes
tribes and
too.
ethnic
Yes.
groups and so on. Okay, now in the bedroom, we have to leave it here now because of time, but we must thank you for breaking down and making us understand the figures and so on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
very
you very
grateful.
much.